Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies, and it's a pleasure to be back, and it also happens to be Friday. So that means unless something major happens over the weekend, I'll be off for the next 2 days, and boy oh boy am I going to need it, because, yep, block of land that we're going to build on. So now I got to find a build, got to get this house ready for sale. It's pretty ready, but there's a few little touchy up things. Get this house ready for sale, find a builder, draw up some plans over the next couple of months. So let's see how it plays. And in the meantime, we'll either end up in a rental property or hopefully, cross fingers, touch wood, whoever buys this place will rent it back to us for the build period. Oh boy. Okay, entertainment only. Let's see how this goes. What I've got noted down is the US economy, which after that last reading, I don't know whether it's going to be relevant at all, but we shall have a look. So I'm going to use the Golden Universal Tarot. I don't have any of the overhead lights on. These cards are quite shiny, which means it is really dark in here. It's not even 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's raining and it's thick cloud, and we'll see how we go. Okay, news of the day. Well, my guides, they said Bove would be confirmed. Yeah, it happened. But if I go back to that reading, if I stretch my memory back, I don't think he'll stay there. The intention is for him to work his way up to the Supreme Court, but I don't see that happening. Interesting, given that last reading I just did. Had to laugh, literally. Air Force One was taking off from Scotland as the Scottish government then said, yeah, right, approving the biggest offshore wind farm in the world that will produce, that wind farm alone, twice the energy that Scotland requires. So they'll be exporting it to England, Wales, Ireland, probably, mind you. They've all got their own electricity producing facilities. To mainland Europe. So don't need that Russian and US fossil fuel anymore. Okay, so that's great news there. And speaking of Air Force One, so the $400 million plane that was gifted and not as intended as a bribe, allegedly, entertainment only. It's due to the Freedom of Information Act, it's now come out that it will cost the Pentagon at least $1 billion to retrofit it out as Air Force One, and yet the plane itself is going to be transferred after the $1 billion fit out to the Trump Foundation Library. Really? A library? Okay, whatever, if you believe that. Once the orange twerp, or should I say the candy cotton cockswobble, or codswobble, however, if I'm going to be polite, the cotton candy codswobble, is out of office. Oh, God, it's so not going to happen. But in the meantime, as in the plane getting gifted, but in the meantime, the money has been transferred for the fit out to take place. So again, taxpayers' money's being spent wisely, apparently. Not. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? Well, sorry about that. That was the doorbell going off for a delivery. Speaking of the doorbell, yep, there she is. Now, I haven't got the overhead lights on, so it is making the image a little bit grainy, so I do apologize about that. But okay, and as I look at the bottom, this is absolutely what I was about to talk about, the circles of support, the coming together, the community. Lena from Tarot Down Under mentioned this. She said now is the time, and a lot of other people have said it as well. Susan Lynn, a lot of other readers have said now is the time to get your community networks organized. And this is very much about, speaking of needing a haircut, swapping an hour's tuition with person A who has then something that they can give person B, and then person B will then give you person C a haircut or whatever. Yeah, I have about a 3 weeks window where my hair actually looks half decent. So this is very much about setting up the bartering networks within your community. So, you know, can you fix that person's bicycle? And what they do is they then give some food produce to that person, who then will give you a haircut, and then you can perhaps tutor this child over here for an hour a day, and then that person then, you know, so you've got this network in the community already set up. And what it may be is perhaps you're the person in the community that sets it up, the bartering system. Whether it's a credits system where there's a central computer network website, something along those lines, where person A and B both agree and have to log in and say, yes, we did this, which is equal to that many credits, and therefore somebody else can log in and draw down the credit from the what somebody's offering. Does that make sense? And it's not the first time this sort of system's worked. I remember my mother telling me that my grandmother, so my great-grandfather was a solicitor, very high-profile solicitor apparently during World War II. But I mean, nobody had money in World War II to get solicitor advice. Nobody had any money. And so what happened, and during the Depression and stuff, so what would happen is they would, you know, give him 2 chickens or something, or a carton of eggs, or so the poor, you know, being the solicitor, the family never had any money. But you know, if they needed electrical work done on the house, the barter system was such that somebody knew somebody who, you know, so they got work done, and they got food, and they got whatever they needed as a family. So I'm just saying, now is the time to set up these circles. And it may be that in your community, you're the one that, if you have the ability, or maybe you have the ability to pay somebody who has the ability to set up, and I'm going to say on the internet, a system, and perhaps you get a community gathering that works out what everything's worth. You know, is a carton of eggs worth, you know, a half hour? Is a half hour of something worth a haircut? You know, I'm not talking about, you know, wash, colour, blow dry and all the rest of it. This is just simply a haircut. You know, is a haircut worth, you know, how many haircuts are worth getting your car serviced? So now's the time to set up these networks, because we are all going to be under the pump and have to think about how we go about what we need day to day differently. So the swords of truth, but it's not all bad. We're going to have to take a backward step and really reconsider, re-strategize how we go about in the outside world. But it's not bad. I mean, you're being overlooked here by this beautiful stained glass window, and it may be through the church that this happens. I'm not talking about the wacky, what they call them, happy clappy evangelical churches. I'm talking about genuine church networks. Is a great place to start for this. So why not? Why not? Now let's have a look. Let's have a look. Tell me, what do we need to know? Is the three, first of all, I'm going to start off with the 3% and just see whether it's an absolute BS, which is what I'm really feeling. Show me, is the 3% figure, 3% growth figure. What's up? Okay, thank you. I'm asking what's underlying it. My guides are telling me it's the price gouging. It's a false sense of growth. It's false growth. But let's have a look. Let's have a look. What do we need to know about this 3% figure? How is it going to be believed? Down at the pub, You know, that might be another thing. Is a haircut worth a pint of beer? I don't know. Show me what we need to know. I mean, there will still be money stewing around. This is just complementary to money so that you can make your dollar stretch further. You can't really be going down to the electricity company and saying, here's my dozen eggs. But you can swap it for something else, which means your money's then freed up to pay for your utilities. Come on down, let's have a look. So what's behind this 3% figure? Okay, big fanfare announcement. Absolutely, big fanfare announcement. You know, waking up those that are asleep. Some will be sort of going rejoicing in it and agreeing with it. However, you've got some in the background in the distance here going, hang on, what about me over here? So this announcement will appeal to a few. The immediate future in regards to this is the Chariot, the chaotic movement forward, or just the stalled movement forward. The Chariot can mean, you know, the horses are pulling in two different directions. One's the real economy, one's the announced economy. Or it can simply be, because these two sphinxes here are lying down and not going anywhere, can be stalled economy, stalled movement forward. You've got, oh gosh, look at these major arcanas. Foundation, the Emperor, making his declarations from his throne, my way or the highway. This can also mean, though, take control of your own energy. Take control of your situation as the energy that we're stewing in. It's as I said, it can have the double meaning. It can be the Emperor declaring how wonderful the economy is, or it could be a wake-up call for many at how stalled the economy is, how chaotic it is, and this need to take control of your own destiny. In the past, we've got the Queen of Swords. She's very much about creating a strategy, and then she makes a declaration with her sword of truth. But notice the tip of this sword is chopped off in this particular deck. It's not the whole truth. It's the convenient truth in the past as part of a strategy. Crowning this reading, the messages getting out there, the articulate, not articulated, that's a truck. The articulate orator, or just people sharing their own experiences or sharing a new plan. Okay. If this isn't a barter card, I have no idea what is. This is pretty much the only barter type card in this deck. This isn't about handouts. That would be the Six of Pentacles. This is about bartering, emotional, going back to the way things were done. Pay your solicitor 2 chickens. I don't know that he'll be terribly thrilled with that, but you get what I mean. And this is very much about coming together and exchanging gifts, exchanging goods. Externally, feeling a sense of betrayal, a sense of heartbreak, a sense of loss. Now, trust me, when they say it's up 3% and you go, oh my goodness, you are not alone. The majority of the country is going to feel in this position. So reach out to others, because they will be feeling that they're alone as well. Feeling of betrayal, feeling of loss, feeling of heartbreak, feeling of it's only me that's in this situation. Trust me, absolutely, it is not. This is externally. There's going to be a lot of feeling betrayed by this report that has come out. Anguish, despair, because this is not a reflection of what is happening on the ground. So that's externally. Internally, it's about looking at the bigger picture and making plans. making plans. My Two of Wands is making plans. My Three of Wands is the plans coming to fruition. So this is looking outside of your own sphere, and there's a sphere there, the world, and making plans, bigger picture plans. They don't need to be world shattering. They just need to be looking at the bigger picture. Hopes and fears, feeling like you've been lied to, that you've had 5 of your swords stolen from you and they've left you with a pitiful 2 swords. Absolutely. Absolutely, that's how it's going to feel. That you've been stolen from. Very much. This is about stretching your budget, balancing the books, working hard to make money, but also you've got them lined up here. So this might be indicating the working hard and getting your credits, and then somebody else swapping your credits in and out. This because you've got this, using your skills to create a form of money. I'm just going to say a form of money. You get what I mean when I'm saying credits, as in that you could have all these hanging on the wall, your credits, and someone could come along and say, I'd like that one, and here's something to replace, and they've got their own pile of credits as well. So yeah, very much so. And then we've got the Queen of Wands. Again, she is working within, bringing forward this new plan. But it's also the feminine energy, the nurturing, the caring energy, bringing forward a new plan. You've also got the all-seeing black cat here. So this cat sees what's going on. It's the all-knowing cat. But you've got this benevolent, nurturing, caring energy bringing forward this new plan. New plan, new plan. Okay. Because we're in this energy. Absolutely, because this is the energy. The tearing down of what was, so the new can be rebuilt. And as we face this explosion, this destruction of the crusty old moneyed system, oligarchical money system, because if you're doing this internal work, the oligarchs ain't getting their money. The owners of Walmart and the owners of Amazon and the big moneyed oligarchs, it's going to destroy this money up, this trickle up economy. Reagan promised it as trickle down. It was never, ever, ever trickle down. It's trickle up, where all the money goes up into the few, the oligarchs. And then we've got this King of Swords energy coming forward, this new strategy. This could be legal implications for these oligarchs, but just coming forward, bringing forward this powerful new truth to these moneyed barons who think that they can take the equivalent in a day of what one of their workers earns in their entire 40-year working lifetime, or 50-year working lifetime. They get in one day. All of a sudden they're facing this truth. And it might be unexpected for them with that Page of Pentacles. The power of the people, bringing forward something unexpected. We've then got another page. Pages are all about a new way of doing things, new messaging that's coming forward. Page of Swords, a new truth. Again, youthful energy. And then we've got the Eight of Wands. A lot of information coming forward very quickly. We've got this King of Cups. Again, another king. So we've got 3 pages, 3 kings so far. We've also got the Emperor, the King of Cups, the negotiator, the diplomat, the bringing forth of new emotional energies, new stability as secrets are exposed and the infighting begins. So this is very much about taking the power away from these dictatorial oligarchs. Okay. Don't know where to go with that. Yeah, okay. So I think, yes, I do think that the yeah, I'm just going to say the messaging, the volatile truth is revealing the secrecy, the hidden agendas, the trying to keep the reality hidden. That's what I'm getting. Temperance, the sword of truth investigation. The truth, undeniable truth, shining a light on the path for the undeniable truth, and it's going to lead to a rebalancing and a new dawn and a new day. I'm just going to leave it like that. I've been up on my little soapbox there. You get the drift of it. The figures that are coming out of the White House that they're going, oh, aren't we so wonderful? Are not reflective of reality, and reality on the ground is going to need to take a different path forward. So there's some ideas for you. Love to you all. Take care. Look after yourselves.